Hello again. This is part two since my phone will not record long enough for me to get actually through a whole um, audio journal. So next is what stood out to me the most during the film, and honestly, I have to say it's the portion of Alec and the part that it plays in creating legislation. I think this was the missing piece for me that really put all of my other previous research into this, brought it together. I mean, I knew about the 13th Amendment and I knew about the prison industrial complex, but Alec is kind of the piece that ties it all together, really. It was something that I wasn't aware of. Um, let's see. Um, and when you put a bunch of business leaders together, their primary motivation is to bring profit. And so I'm not even really sure why we allow this to happen. It really, really bothers me. This is the part that, the emotional part of it. This was hugely discussed. I just can't even believe that we allow this to happen. The corporations that have completely taken over our country, and especially, um, in this arena. Aramark is something that didn't really surprise me as being part of Alec. My brother, who has been incarcerated, ended up with a job in the kitchen, and they have to unload the food trucks, and they get food from Aramark that they were unloading potatoes that says not for human consumption. And I remember it was a big deal and I just can't believe that they're allowed to do that. Also, Senator or Sheriff Joe Arpaio, I think he was from Arizona, was talking about how he was so proud of himself for feeding his dogs more food per day than he feeds his inmates, or it costing more to feed his dogs than each one of the inmates. So I just think it's a disgusting way to treat human beings. Also, Securus, I've had personal dealings with them. I think they're highway robbery at the very least. They take a whole population and hold them ransom just to be able to have the basic human need of contact with your loved ones. The fees and things that they charge are crazy, and I remember having to give families stipends and things like that to be able to talk to their loved ones in prison when I worked at Matthew House. And also, I didn't know that mandatory minimums also came out of Alec, not giving the judges the discretion of finding out what is behind somebody's crime. Which in that creates the constant flow of people to profit from. My primary emotion, I can't say I can name a primary emotion. I think I had so many in watching this film. First of all, was sadness for sure. I just, my heart just goes out to the people that have been affected, not just directly, but indirectly, families and children and wives and husbands. And like I said before, the whole generation of leadership lost. Also shame and just not knowing enough about this. I'm pretty active in the activism for changing it now, but just not knowing, and just knowing that this happened to fellow human beings was just very shameful for me. And discussed, like I mentioned before, with the whole corporate influence on the prison industrial complex and just profiting off of punishment. I just don't know how some of these people sleep at night. And also, I also thought of hope because sharing this might cause people to act. And so that were my emotions. Thank you.